Hey guys, welcome to The Greek Chorus, a podcast hosted by two friends from New York who met in college and moved to LA.
Where we're yapping about how we're using our degrees and charm to navigate this amazing city. I'm Issa Providence.
And I'm Jordan Tate Burrows.
And we are The Greek Chorus! Hey!
Let's start.
Today we're talking about our degrees.
Yep.
And what a BFA is. But before we do that, Joe, what are you the goddess of today?
I'm so glad you asked, Issa. I am at least trying to be the goddess of taking and accepting the love I had given up on having.
Elaborate.
So, yesterday was my birthday.
Woo woo!
And, not to dox my date, but, I think it kind of goes in with college a little bit, but the amount of love that I received this week from not only you, but so many of our newer friends in LA was honestly kind of shocking to my system in a way that was really great because I had and I love all of my people, but I think it was very healing for my child, my inner child, just to have people who unapologetically and unconditionally wanted to share their friendship with me.
Aww.
And it's something that I think I had subconsciously given up on having for myself. And so when I was getting that, I was kind of taken aback. But then I thought about therapy. Hi, Dr. Bob. And I was like, okay, this is what I've been wanting. I have to accept it.
Yeah.
Because I haven't been.
Yeah.
So that's what I think I'm the goddess of today. What about you?
Mine isn't as deep. I am the goddess of socializing.
Actually, yeah, you are.
This is the third day Joe and I have seen each other in a row,
Guys.
which never happens.
Yes, it does. What are you talking?
3 days in a row.
Sure.
And on
anyways, spilled on my pants.
Joe just spilled the tea. In a literal sense. Anyways, Sunday night, my big Sid came over for dinner. Then I saw you Monday. I saw both of you yesterday. I'm seeing you today. On Friday, I have a birthday party to go to. On Saturday, I have a birthday party to go to. And on Sunday, I'm helping my friends move.
Holy shit.
So, very social week.
Okay. Yes. And I will also say a very productive week because at least 2 of the times that we've seen each other in the last 3 days were for
an audition
and or this podcast.
Very true.
Very true. But at the same time, this podcast is mainly a reason for us to socialize in the app.
Yeah, fair. So true.
You actually are killing it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a lot of socializing for me, but alas.
And then you also, low-key, you don't have to socialize with your boyfriend. You're at the point where you don't have to, but sometimes coming home, you socialize. Again.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I live with someone, so we see each other every day and socialize.
I love that.
All right. Jinx. Today we're talking about the BFA, aka the BFA. And just kind of our experience. If you don't know, Joe and I met going to Syracuse University in upstate New York.
So I was thinking about this last night. Can we tell the story of how we met? Do you remember how we met?
I don't think I know this story.
Yes, you do.
Okay. Well, I was there.
You were,
but I don't know if I recall.
So it was the summer going into freshman year, and Issa and I are both from Westchester.
Oh, yes.
So,
the first time we met in person.
So because Issa and I grew up living 20 minutes away from each other,
Mm-hmm.
Issa had reached out to the freshman drama group chat and was like, hey guys, like I'm making tie-dye t-shirts.
Yeah.
And
I totally
this
forgot
was
about
like a
this.
week. So I was waitlisted. I'll get into that later. But this was like a week after I had like gotten in and gotten accepted, and I was like freaking out because it was COVID, so I hadn't socialized in like 4 months, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, I have to make new friends and I have to catch up.
And like our class, because we had graduated in COVID, we were so adamant about like socializing with each other before we got to school too.
Yeah.
Like we had like
Zoomed.
Yeah, we had group Zooms
like once a week at least.
Yeah.
Which was another crazy thing. But
Yeah.
Issa was you remember the t-shirt. But Issa was like, guys, I'm like making tie-dye t-shirts and like for a discounted price for like anyone who goes to Syracuse. And my mom goes up to me and she's like, is this the girl from Westchester? And I was like, yes, it's the girl from Westchester. And my mom was like, you're getting that shirt.
Did I tie-dye a shirt? Why do I feel like I tie-dyed you socks?
You also tie-dyed me socks.
Okay.
Because you were like, I have extra. You were like, I'll throw in extra socks. And I was like, cool. So I go over to Issa's house and...
No, I came to you.
Yeah, you came to me afterwards. I came to your house as well. That's when we first met.
Yeah,
because I dropped off my t-shirt.
Yeah.
I was like, this girl is so cool. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Literally, like, hands sweating in the car. I was like, oh
That's
my god,
hilarious.
oh my god. And then Issa came over, and that's when you met my parents, kind of briefly, because they were gardening, like, 2 old people. Love you, mom and dad. And, yeah, the rest is history.
I totally forgot about that.
I remembered it in the shower, and I was like, wait, I still have the t-shirt. I should have worn it. It's fine.
Honestly, some of those pieces were good.
You ate.
The one that I sold to Morgan Lewis, that like spiral is honestly
really
like
good.
The best tie I've ever done.
In your hair dye era?
Oh yeah. I was dyeing my hair, dyeing t-shirts, doing everything to keep sane. But a BFA is a Bachelor of Fine Arts, if you were unaware.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what it is you don't take gen ed classes in the same capacity. At least at Syracuse, you have to take academic credits, but they can be in anything that you want.
Yeah.
It just has to be a certain type of class. So like
it
has to be like a class that has writing in it or something.
Yeah, some people took writing. I tested out of writing because of English. AP.
That was the only required class.
Yeah, so I took like a Shakespeare lit class. But like you could kind of it was 2 semesters of writing. Yeah.
But all the academic credits, you could take whatever you want instead of having to take certain ones. Mm-hmm. And it's what's known as like conservatory style training. So the majority of your classes are whatever you're studying in, which for us was the acting program. So a lot of drama classes.
And when we say a lot, I'm talking like classes generally started at 8 or 9 a.m. and with rehearsals and evening classes went till 11 p.m. sometimes.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
Like our first class that we went to for like freshman year core, which is like, we'll get into that later, I guess. What started at 8:20. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Apparently they also don't do ED anymore.
What?
Yeah, I was like on a panel for like new students as a second semester senior, and I was the only senior there.
Half of our class was ED.
Well, I was like, yeah, I ED'd, and the chair of the program, shout out Ralph Zito, was like, oh, we don't do that anymore. And I was like, wow, I feel really old that how I got into this program doesn't even exist anymore. But which I guess I'll go into our audition stories. I feel like we explained what BFA is.
Yeah, it's 4 years conservatory. Think like, God, I mean, like Juilliard.
Yeah.
That kind of vibe.
And it can be, a BFA isn't just for drama. Yeah, it can be in visual arts. It can be in studio arts. Like
film arts.
Yeah, whatever.
Music, whatever.
As I said, I auditioned early decision, which if you are in the process of applying to college or if you have applied to college, early decision is basically if you get in, you're required to go. And I was very set on Syracuse. I loved Syracuse. I had done their summer drama program
Oh, I
this
forgot
summer
you did
before.
that.
Yeah, which was super fun and like
With someone
really.
else. Hey.
Who? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Shout out
Anyways,
Diego. He doesn't listen to this.
No way he does. Anyways, but that really solidified that I wanted to go to Syracuse. And then I ED'd. I first used a different school that was in New York as my practice audition because EDs happen earlier. So I was auditioning like at the start of November, maybe mid-November,
Whoa, okay.
which is really early comparatively to all the other schools.
I was still doing pre-screens.
Yeah. And I went up there. I actually auditioned musical theater, fun fact.
I think I knew this.
Yeah, so I'm in the dance call. They did like a jazz combo, and I was like, okay, this isn't going well, but I'm gonna try to act it out. It'll be fine. And then they were like, now for the tap combo, and I was like, right. Rut-row is right.
Some musical theater programs are known for their dance, and Syracuse is one of them.
Yeah, I was like, holy
good on
shit.
you, girl.
And then I went upstairs to sing. I sang Mira from Carnival as my legit quote unquote piece.
Yeah. Oh.
And she used to be mine from Waitress, which is so overdone. But I was
now
like,
it's overdone. It wasn't overdone then.
Yeah, it was November of 2019, so that was a while ago. But those are the songs I sang. The audition was good. I don't even remember what monologue I did. I think I did the one that I always do from Good Kids by Naomi Osaka.
Yeah.
And I think I did one from Museum by Tina something.
Landau? No.
How?
Oh,
maybe?
Sure.
I've literally met her. I don't know why I'm blanking on her name. But anyways.
Go off.
But the audition was good. And then I got in for acting instead of MT. And I was like, you know what? Cool.
Yeah.
Like, works for me. And honestly, I am glad that I was an actor instead of an MT. I think any program is going to feel this, but acting is so much more subjective that, like, some people like a piece, some people won't, and that's fine. Whereas in MT, it's a lot easier to be like, oh, they haven't had dance training. Oh, they haven't had vocal training the same way.
Yeah.
And it's a lot easier to compare everybody.
I totally agree.
Yeah. But that was my audition. What was yours like?
Mine was a lot longer than that. So I started working. So, okay.
Did you have an audition coach?
Well, this is the thing. I was just talking about this story yesterday with a friend who was 10 years ahead of me in high school. But basically, I didn't go to a performing arts school, but my school was kind of weird in that if you were in any arts AP kind of classes, you'd have it for 2 hours a day, 4 days a week. And so I was in this really weird program called repertory theater, called Rep, if I refer to that. And I instead of doing, I love this show, but instead of doing The Addams Family, we were doing Moliere.
That was my
and
senior
the Greeks
musical.
Yeah. So it was definitely like interesting, and I, Westchester, you grew up in like an affluent neighborhood where a lot of people in theater have resources to take 6 different private singing lessons and dance. And as a twin and as, just a normal human being, I didn't.
Yeah.
Rep was my class.
Yeah.
So I was known as the independent study queen. I would come 2 hours every single day before school from June to December, and or 2 hours before rehearsals for Rep, and rehearse with my teacher. It was great. Actually, he was Timothy Chalamet's teacher in LaGuardia.
Right.
No, I know. He was just... shout out Mr. K if you ever listen to this. But, Yeah, and then I was literally this close to EDing to Syracuse, because I was so tired, and I was like, no, I should like see what go like if I get in anywhere else.
Yeah.
So the funny thing is, I auditioned for 13 schools.
Oh my god.
I get
and that's like on the
low side.
End for theater.
I get rejected from 10 of them, and then waitlisted at my top 3, which were Syracuse, a place on the East Coast, and a place in the Midwest.
You're like, I'm not gonna tell it.
Well, okay, fine. It was Penn State and Michigan. And all of them, except for Penn State, they kind of ghosted me after a while. But all of them, the heads of the program, had like reached out to me. I was like in correspondence with all of them. Ralph Cito heard about me months before I even got in.
I love Ralph.
Love Ralph. Shout out Ralph. And basically I had to like re-audition for Michigan. And for Syracuse, I just like went through like just a crazy interview process. I had teachers who had connections at Syracuse like reach out. Yeah. Even for academics, which my academics were good. So then I got in. My audition for Syracuse, long story short, my audition for Syracuse was one of my last auditions. I had like a panic attack. It was a snowstorm. My friend was like, all of your work that you've been putting in for the last 6 months is worth nothing if you don't have fun. So I'm like, okay, why not? I had like 6 different monologues to choose from. Yeah. Chose it on the day. I was like, I'm going to be funny. I did Sonia from Vanya, Sonia, Masha, and Spike by Christopher Durang. And Sonia from Uncle Vanya. It's like classical.
You're like, the Sonias.
Because I was like, I want them to remember me. And Ralph Cito's husband, Rob, was one of mine, and Holly Thuma was one of mine. Holly. And they basically made me be a drag king for one of them. And it was just so interesting. And then I was like, thank you guys so much. It was in the film classroom where we take film with Ricky. And you know how there's like a closet next to the door? Yes. I walk into the closet thinking that's the door to leave. And then I turn around to them like, I guess I just wanted to stay. And they both laugh really hard. And honestly, I think that's what got me in.
I don't remember working my monologues at all. I know I worked Mira.
Period.
I remember them being like, do you know the song Mira? Yeah. Yeah, I remember them being like, what is your favorite thing to do with your friends? That's legal. And I was like,
wait, who are your auditors? I don't know. The MTs? Like the MT teachers?
Yeah.
Kathleen or something?
So like I didn't. Well, the thing is, Kathleen Wren had worked with me in the drama program over the summer.
You knew them.
So I like walked into her room and they were like, give me a second. And then she was like, I'm not allowed to audition you because I already know you. And I also saw Celia Madoy there and she was like, oh my God,
Celia! Celia was one of the people who called me to tell me that I got in.
Oh, I love her.
Love her. I love Celia Madoy.
She's so Earth Mama. I love her. She was like the acting teacher in the summer program, and I was like, this is art school.
Think of like Mrs. Darbus, but like
even more grounded.
I don't want to assume, but like more femininely flamboyant.
And she wears all black and has like this beautiful like cherry brown hair.
Stunning.
Yeah. I love her. And she's like always talking in heightened speech. It's so good. It's so good.
What were some of the...
I think a woman has a right.
Oh my God. I think
that's like...
She cracks me up.
She's so good.
I love her.
What would you say is the best thing that you learned from the program?
Yeah, okay. I have 2 things that... Are we talking technical, or are we talking like mental?
I was gonna go more technical in
Okay.
like the school sense of like
Sure.
what the program actually taught.
Yeah.
You know?
So our program is really known for its Shakespeare.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that sets us apart. We go to the Globe, and our voice and speech teachers are fantastic, and have all like either gone to Shakespeare and Co. or something like insane.
Yeah.
Breath release is like being connected to your breath is something so important, and something that literally is your entire sophomore year of voice.
Yeah.
Tremors.
Oh my God.
And like how your muscularity and your body instrument is connected to your voice, and then thus connected to your acting. And also something that I learned at Tepper, which is a program that we do in New York, is the light switch.
I wasn't at Tepper, so
I'll
do explain.
I was, when you're doing a scene or something, or a monologue, and there's that like thing in your gut that just turns on, and suddenly you're not Issa playing a character. It's just like you're
like enveloped in the scene.
Yeah, it's just like you as the character at its most truthful, but it's so easily like shuts off and on. I mean, that's just what being an actor is. It's finding the light switch. But my scene study teacher, Brian, shout out Brian, was like, the light switch comes easy to you, but why don't you want to use it? And I was like, what? Don't dox me, Brian. And he was like, people tell you not to use it, don't they? And I was like, sometimes, yeah. And he was like, fuck them.
Yeah.
Turn on the light switch. So every day I try to do it for at least 10 seconds. Yeah. What about you?
I am a words first actor, rather than a body first actor. I just I think part of it is just I'm not as much of a dancer, and so like the body embodying a character.
Not to flex, but we're very smart academic people.
Yeah, and not to say that
you're not.
People that aren't smart are body first, but if you're more comfortable in your movement, I think you can be a body first actor. And I love the text, and I need that to conceptualize how my character moves. But I think they do a really good job of teaching us how to break down a script.
Oh yeah.
And
that's the first thing that we learn.
Yeah, and I had it from semester 1 to semester 8. It's how to break down and talk about the different beats and what it means to switch here, and talking about the language of it. My best example is always I'm a language first actor because I want to know why they're using past tense instead of present talking about this person. Stuff like that is so interesting to me. Talking about yourself in the character, I think, is really important too. Being oh, I do this because of this, I do this because of this, instead of my character. The teachers will be no, it's you. You are the character right now. This is you.
I also think punctuation is just we could gag for 30 seconds. To be or not to be, that is the question. Iambic pentameter is the da 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 da.
Yeah.
And we learn that first thing.
Yeah.
To be or not to be, that is the quest, is what fits into iambic pentameter. Yeah. So the actual line meaning could mean, this is just my interpretation of the whole journey of life, is figuring out what it means to be alive.
Yeah.
And that's the question of, is it even worth it?
Yeah.
Oh, God. And that's what we learn at Syracuse. It's the little things that turn your brain on.
And I think that kind of stuff is stuff that you need to sit in a classroom and learn.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what sets apart actors that have training from actors that don't.
Yep.
Is that like I can get a script and sure, if you give me 5 minutes I can read through it and have a little bit of whatever,
but give me 10 minutes.
yeah.
Ooh.
And like I remember first year like going through, and shout out Celia again, she was like, you're gonna have a color for this thing in the script, you're gonna have a color for this thing in the monologue, like whatever. And at the end it's like every single word has a highlight of what it means, because every single word is so intentional. And I think that's something that I needed to like sit down and actually like learn how to process,
Sure.
so that I know how to approach any scene ever.
Can I ask what, and I think we take things from all of our teachers, it's like a toolbox, but what teachers' tools do you find yourself going towards most?
I love how Chris Albright Tufts teaches.
Okay.
I love push, pull, hold, release, because it helps me go from text to body, in the sense of actually physically pushing, holding, pulling, or releasing, because everything that you says everything that you say has something of that substance, and then you can transfer that energy from what you want to put into your body into your words and intentionality.
Yeah.
So totally. I really love that teaching. I don't know who that stems from. Also, something about Syracuse that's nice is that they teach all different technique.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate, because
it's not necessarily like NYU, which it has its merit, but where you learn for 2 years one technique. Yeah,
like Meisner at its base core doesn't really work for me, of like the the like exercise where you're repeating to each other, like that kind of thing, or doing an activity while you're like saying your script or whatever. That kind of thing doesn't really work for me. And if I got pushed into doing Meisner for like 2+ whole years, I'd be like, I don't know what I'm doing and this doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I think that's really interesting for...
Your eyes are brown.
Your eyes are brown.
My eyes are brown.
Your eyes are brown.
My eyes are brown.
Your eyes are brown.
Okay.
Anyways, Meisner.
Meisner.
But yeah, I really love how they teach.
Yeah.
Really breaking it down at the words level.
Okay. I want to amend what I said 2 seconds ago.
Okay.
I think I want to be a words first actor. And I think growing up, because I was in such an academic high school program for drama,
yeah.
I had convinced myself that I was. And because of teachers that I adore who showed me the capabilities of the light switch.
Yeah.
They kind of forced me to be uncomfortable in the fact that I might not be as mind first as I thought I was. Yeah.
Do you feel like getting in your body is part of a scene or getting into a character, or no?
I definitely feel like, I think it's 50-50 for me. I can't have one without the other.
Yeah.
I do a 15-minute warm-up every single time I do like a scene or an audition that's like important to me. Always warm up. But I also think that it's important to do the character work because I'm going to film and you can't have the same breath, DTH, breath, as you would on stage, and you need to be able to know the mindset of the character. And so I think it's exactly even for me.
I think the thing that I can't get in line with body first is when a teacher is like, be this animal, or
sure,
which apparently the year below us had to do in their audition.
Yeah,
which
thank
is
God we didn't.
I would have been like,
Well,
No.
actually, no. We had to do that.
I didn't.
Yeah, because you were in MT
Oh.
auditions. I knew from the get-go I was going to go for acting.
Mm.
And man, oh man, Felix, may he rest in peace. Yes, Felix. He's one of our movement.
Yeah.
He was the head of movement at Juilliard, and then Ralph Zito, who was the head of drama at Juilliard, like snatched him up and was like, "Do you want to go chase bears in the mountains?" And he was like, "Sure."
Richard Dent went to Juilliard.
Was Ralph Zito's student.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out Richard. Is he still there? I hope so.
I think so.
Yes.
He goes movement first. He's a movement guy.
Are you kidding? I think anyone who goes to Juilliard is like movement first.
Yeah.
But
is there anything you wish you learned more? And I think we probably have the same answer for this.
Yeah. They spend so much time. How do I put this nicely? Zhuzhing up 10 people from each grade. And then they forget to teach us the industry.
Mm-hmm.
I think I could count on 2 fingers in like industry class 3, 4, maybe fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Teachers who invested the time in talking about the industry and specifically what they really lack. Shout out Ricky for being the only teacher who does this.
Mm-hmm.
The film industry.
Yeah.
They don't.
That's why I have
teach us crap about that. There's once you're in advanced, like the advanced programs, in your upperclassmen, you can take film classes.
Mm-hmm.
They're hard to get scheduled.
Yeah. Because it's like Tuesday from 9 to 2 p.m. and you're like,
well, I have to graduate.
Yeah, I have to take an academic class, and there's no classes that run just Thursday from 9 to 2, and you're like, right.
Yeah. So, but I did take that class. That's later. But yeah, and I think also they spend so much time making us big for the stage, and not enough time teaching the skills that it truly takes to put it in a capsule and keep that. Yeah. And it's so important. And I think the industry in general, like, they just kind of throw us out there and they're like, if you're not in New York, good luck.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say pretty much the same thing. I know there's a class that the entire department has every week called lab. And I know lab used to be more industry based. Now it's a lot of guests, which is really nice because hearing the Q&As from the guests are great. And Blake knows so many people somehow that
they all know Blake went to Yale.
That's true. And his wife also.
I know, isn't that crazy?
That is. We're going to get that out.
I don't think they could have. We'll see.
But also his wife, which is another teacher in the program, Katie, she also has worked on Broadway, so they just know.
She just finished co-directing a piece on Broadway.
Yeah, so they just know, like, everyone. But I think it used to be more industry-based because I remember freshman year especially, they were like, send us your resumes and we are going to work this with you.
Yeah.
And, like, that was really nice.
I think, however, some of it was a little outdated.
Yes, because the person running it was like 80 years old.
I love him though.
Yeah.
Jim, I love you to pieces.
Yeah. But I wish they taught us more about the film industry. They pretty much are like, you can go to New York. New York is awesome. Blink, blink. And like nothing about LA. And they're trying their darndest to get people to, well, they created a program out here to mirror going to New York for your last semester, but it just hasn't taken off because not a lot of people,
because they make us feel like
New York is the only option.
The industry doesn't even exist outside of New York.
Yeah. And it's also a location thing because we're so close to New York that obviously most people are going to go down there. But it's like Syracuse has a great film program and they just don't utilize the connections enough.
Some of the biggest names from Syracuse drama are film actors.
Y'all ever heard of Aaron Sorkin?
Yeah.
Yeah, Syracuse. Tay Diggs, Syracuse. Vanessa Williams, Syracuse.
You know, she went to she's from my town.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What's her name? Oh, Jerry,
Springer?
I think?
No.
He was the producer of Seinfeld. He was an acting major.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Seinfeld? Yeah. Jerry Seinfeld, I think it's that.
Is his last name Seinfeld?
No.
I think it's Jerry
Springer.
Look it up. Hold on. We're going to cut this out.
Okay.
Look up Jerry Springer and see if that's who it is.
Is it? Maybe. No. Wait, I think it's...
Is his last name Seinfeld?
Oh. Yeah, Jerry Seinfeld. Oh, no. His dad. His dad. Who's his dad? Parents. His dad is... Early life. No. It is... Yeah, it's Jerry Seinfeld. Cuse.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, hey. Yeah, there's a lot of people that went to Cuse, but
not even from drama. Like, I went to some of the LA things that go on here, and they are so excited to meet actors.
Yeah. Dick Clark, he runs literally everything.
He runs Hollywood.
he
Eric
created
and Dick Clark run.
Dick Clark literally created everything. He created the AMAs. And so many things are named after him at
Rock
Syracuse.
and New Year's Eve.
Yeah, everything is Dick Clark.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, I don't know why they don't utilize the connections more. Because then it also forces all the film kids to use their friends that are not actors in their student films. And it's like, if they start communicating with actual actors, they'll understand how to communicate with actors. Because if you don't start working with people in your profession, you're going to think it's okay to be like,
be happy.
Oh, here's this call for tomorrow. I know we weren't going to have you tomorrow, but now you have to be open. And you're like, I'm booked.
Yeah. Which I think goes into at least my best class. But do you want to say your best class?
Sure. I have kind of two answers. My first answer is audition technique, which isn't even with a department teacher.
No.
It's with the Syracuse stage artistic director, Bob Hupp.
Bob!
Who I adore.
Well, you are his, fave. He loves to cast Issa Providence.
I had worked with him on a show, and then I took his class, and I just think, kind of for the reasons that we were just talking about, it's a great class because it is all industry. And it's, okay, we're gonna get, fake an audition room for you. You're gonna come in, and then he's actually gonna give you notes on your audition, which some of it is, this material is perfect for you, use this. Some of it's, use this in 20 years because this isn't right for you right now. Or he works with you on your headshots and your resumes, and it's just such a great class because it prepared me to actually start auditioning in the real world, which I think is why it's great for seniors. I think if you take it younger than that, it's not as helpful because you could spend that time taking another class crafting your acting.
It's also a perfect time for Bob and the seniors who don't picture this. It's sleeting out. Sort of raining, sort of snowing.
Monday
nights.
For 3 hours.
3 hours, 6 to 9? Something like that. Issa and I trudging through something damp to get to this class and back because we're neighbors. That's so funny.
Yeah, but I loved that class. And my other is abroad. I mean...
Yep. Yeah.
that's such a cheesy
I
like
learned more in abroad than I did like ever.
yeah, Syracuse abroad for the drama department is at Shakespeare's Globe in London. And that
You
is
workshop a play.
yeah, that is fucking huge. Like that is insane. And just being able to be like I've performed on
I played
Shakespeare's
Benedict
Globe.
at Shakespeare's Globe.
Yeah, like that's
What?
incredible. And they have a whole academic center like a block away from the actual theaters. But it was just so amazing to work with people that treated us as professionals.
Yeah, it was great.
And it was the first time that it didn't feel like, oh, I'm just a student. It almost felt like I was going to work every day because I was like commuting from where we lived and commuting into these classes and working with people that were actively working in the industry and not like teaching instead of being in the industry. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So I loved abroad. I also just love London, but
I also think that's the British way of like higher education. Which if I ever go, I don't think I'll go to grad school, but if I do, that's the first place I'm looking.
Oh my god, Jamin, I'm so jealous right now.
Yeah, hey Jamin, I hope you're doing good.
What are your best classes?
Well, London was one. And then, God, oh my god. Okay, so speaking of Tuesdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., there it was this very like limited class space. Oh, we're doing great on time. Go us. There was this advanced acting class that you could take your junior or senior year. And I was on the wait list my junior year because they prioritize seniors. And it's 6 actors and 6 graduate directors in film.
Right.
And there's 2 teachers. There's our teacher, Tom, who's great. And another teacher, Adria, who we love, and also has Emmy nominations. Crazy.
As she does.
Love her. But she's the directing teacher and he's the acting teacher. And it's basically teaching you how to not only be on camera, but to talk to the other as like an equal and a separate artist. And you do scenes from iconic films. So like my first scene was with Jamin. Hi, Jamin. With oh gosh, what is it called? It's the Jennifer Lawrence, how she won her Oscar. You know exactly. It's not 50 Shades of Grey. What was it called? Silver Linings Playbook. It's Silver Linings Playbook, which is great. And like Llewellyn Davis, and it's just like really good stuff. And senior year, I was still on the wait list, and I get a call in August from Tom. And he's like, do you want to be, bless you, in this class? And I was like, hell yeah. Moved around some of my academics. And it was just, I learned so much about being in film and my capabilities of being not only an actor in film, but an artist in film. And that my taste is worthwhile in that class. And I recommend just get on your sophomores, get on the wait list. Get on the wait list, get on the wait list, get on the wait list. Yeah, that was my...
Yeah, I think it's funny that neither of our favorite classes were like actually in the department. I mean, there are classes that I loved in the department, and I think part of it...
I appreciate all of the classes.
Yes, and there's some teachers also that I think like made the class, like dialects specifically with Blake Siegel.
Or movement with Kathleen Baum would jump in front of the train for that woman. I love her.
Yeah, I will say, I think like, I was going to write this down as something to talk about, but I guess I'll just talk about it now.
Okay.
I think something that wasn't my worst class, but something that I didn't appreciate at the time was movement freshman year. Because
movement freshman year was hard though.
Yeah, it just like, so I talked about core earlier. Basically how Syracuse, the drama department is designed is that freshman year, all of the performance majors get split into 4 different groups, core A, B, C, D, and have all of their morning classes Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, second semester together. So you're with this group of like 12, 13, 14 people for like half of your classes freshman year.
Corey.
I was Core C. Most of it's split up by last name, but it's not all.
No.
Like there's some like random people I get thrown in, but movement was hard for me as an 18-year-old being like, what is happening? Why am I running around the room right now? Why am I doing like backwards rolls? I'm so confused how this is aiding my acting right now.
Sure.
But I think like unintentionally, or not unintentionally, like subconsciously, then my body was just more ready to do everything else.
Sure.
And I think that's what the movement classes had to teach me, was like, this is how you prepare your body, like you were talking about earlier, of my body needs to be physically ready as well as mentally ready to be in these scenes and do this work. And that's why a lot of teachers start classes by warming up for 20 minutes or half an hour or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I think as an 18, 19-year-old, I didn't really know what was going on, and they didn't really explain to us why we were doing it. I was like, Alexander technique for a whole class going from child's pose to standing. I'm confused.
Right.
But now I appreciate what it was for. I think I was just confused at the time.
No, it's so real. I think I had a very special, weird experience because second semester, senior year of high school, we were doing Suzuki and Linklater, which is like, why would you do that? But I was like really excited for movement classes because I felt like COVID happened just as I was sort of getting a grip on what my body was capable of. And also my class, like the teacher didn't explain why we had to do it.
Yeah.
So I think I was like the only person in Core who was like not asking, but why? Which is a valid question to ask.
Yeah.
But I loved the movement classes.
Yeah. I mean, also our freshman year was so fucked up because of COVID. Like, we were doing our movement classes in the gym, like the public gym at Syracuse. Yeah.
6 people were in the gym. 6 people had to be in their little like split dorm that's the size of this couch.
Yeah. I made a TikTok back freshman year, and it's me dancing next to my Zoom because my camera's off, and it says just me watching people roll through their spines because that's
vertebra. Cat cow.
Yeah, I think it's so funny because we can go into like the culture shockiness, and I think Syracuse as a whole didn't culture shock me in the slightest because I had my graduating class of high school was 117, and I think 11 of us went to Syracuse.
We had a lot of Syracuse.
So I was like, I know everybody here. And just it's so Westchester, it's so New York City, it's so that I knew exactly what I was stepping into. I think the thing that culture shocked me, quote unquote, was people not taking my degree seriously. And I think because freshman year, my friends were like, oh, I have an 8 a.m. lecture. Like, at least you just get to go to, like, movement class. And I'm like, you get to be half asleep in your lecture, and I have to go recite a 2-minute monologue by memory. And mine is a lot harder than yours in that capacity. And I think people just wouldn't take it seriously, or I'd be like, oh, I have this class or the other class, and sure, some of them sound silly because I'm going to clown class.
Yeah, but clown class was a lot.
And like, sure, academically, maybe some of their, like, a lot of their classes were maybe
Physics
harder.
Is hard.
Yeah. But mentally, you have to
always be on.
Yeah, and there was one class where we had to write a letter, either like an I hate you letter or an I love you letter. I'm like, that mentally is so much harder than you going to a lecture and taking notes on what's on the screen.
What class was that?
I don't remember. It was for Chris.
Oh. I don't remember this.
But it was...
Oh, no, I do remember this. Okay.
I think it was...
Whoa.
First semester, sophomore year, maybe?
Okay.
Or second semester. But I think people just don't take it as seriously
Mhm.
because it's not. Syracuse's drama department is sneakily really good. Like, we get on the top 25 drama departments in
In the
the entire
world?
world.
Yeah.
But people, when they think Syracuse, they think Newhouse, they think sports management, they think stuff like that,
Mhm.
and don't understand that our program is really fucking rigorous.
Yeah.
So I think that's the thing that really culture shocked me the most, because in high school, all of my friends were in music and theater. So I
Yeah.
wasn't experiencing people that weren't a part of that.
Sure.
What about you?
I think the culture shock going out of Syracuse was bigger because nobody gives a flying fuck except for other actors.
Yeah. Yep.
I jokingly call myself the queen of the black box because guess what? I was never in a main stage production.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a bunch of student films and a bunch of black box productions, and I wouldn't have traded it for anything. But hot damn, did everyone just like praise all of the main stages.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, okay, fuck me, I guess. But
Yeah.
at the same time, like, I got to like play some really cool characters.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you leave. Okay, like no one cares. No one cares.
Yeah. And I think that goes kind of into, you touched upon it earlier. Like, there are some people that you can kind of tell are getting favored by the department.
Mhm.
And then it's like, okay, but in the real world, like,
No
they're
one
not going to get cast in all this stuff, and it's not going to do them well to have been cast in every single production because they're not going to be
okay
prepared for rejection.
It's actually good to be told no because
Yeah.
you become better for it.
Well, like, when I was there, you start freshman year, you don't audition for anything.
You're not allowed to.
Because they want you to focus on your craft, which I really enjoyed. And then sophomore year, I wasn't in anything. I didn't get cast in anything at all.
Mhm.
For first semester, junior year, we were abroad, and then I was in a professional production, and
Yeah.
then a main stage, and then another professional production. So
Yeah.
I'm like, if that means not getting cast sophomore year to get 2 professional productions,
Fine.
great. Works for me. Like,
Yeah.
like I had time to spend with my friends sophomore year, and it was fine. Like, there are, as in any program, there are some qualms.
Sure, there are, but that's anywhere you go.
Yeah.
Syracuse and our drama training sets us apart in LA.
Yeah. I think also, and I think Ricky told me this. Shout out Ricky Pack.
Ricky! This is like the 4th time we've mentioned him. We love Ricky Pack in this house.
Shout out. Ricky Pack is
we
a good
also
man.
love Whitney Pack.
Oh, yeah.
I love that woman. Oh my god.
She always smells so good.
Yeah.
Really crazy side note, but she always smells so good. Anyways.
Gus?
But I think Ricky had said at one point when I was talking to him about moving to LA, he was like, your Syracuse degree is going to do great over there because people here view New York training as higher training.
Yes.
And more rigorous training and deeper acting training than anything else. Because I think just as much as they think New York is the end all be all, kind of, for 80% of the program,
yeah.
They prepare you so well to be in a room that takes acting really fucking seriously.
This is true.
And they do a really good job of making sure you are not gonna fall behind when it comes to those higher conversations.
Yeah.
Which I really enjoy.
They prepare you to be not necessarily casted because casting is subjective and no one, not even casting directors always know like why they casted someone.
Yeah.
But they always prepare you to be one of the best fucking actors in the room.
Like, my favorite part of rehearsal is table work because I want more information. I want to get deeper into my character. I want to know why everything is connected. Like, when I was doing Murder on the Orient Express, we had a whole separate table work for just me, and we had a whole separate one for Mary and the Colonel to flesh out their relationship, to flesh out how they knew each other, how long they've known each other, everything like that, because it's so important. And I think that's what sets, like I said earlier, that's what sets apart someone that has training versus someone that doesn't have training.
Yeah.
Because obviously if you don't have training, you can still understand that there's deeper meaning to everything in a script, obviously.
Yeah.
But if you don't know how to go about analyzing a script, it's going to be hard and confusing of where to even start.
It also like teaches you to have appreciation for collaboration.
Yeah.
When I was in The Skriker, directed by Miss Whitney Pack, we had a dramaturg come in, who Paige we love, and Paige was amazing because I asked them to bring in, like, if they had any in the archives, like dramaturgically women with PTSD having psychosis. I got a whole handful, like, book.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. And
shout out to every single dramaturg or dramaturg out there.
You guys have such hard jobs.
Like, you are the history books for actors, and it is so fantastic.
Yeah. And it just, like, makes you so appreciative of the collaborative spirit of acting.
Yeah.
But it's not just you as the actor, it's you, the designers, the director, your partner, everyone.
Yeah. And I don't want people to get this misconception that we're looking down on people without degrees.
No.
Like, you are allowed to not go to college and figure it out on your own.
I think
like that
we're
is
looking
totally
down on people who don't try.
We are looking down on someone, and it's people that
who don't even try to get training.
Yeah.
And think that they can go in.
Or just, like, don't read up or don't do any research or anything, like, and think that they're
training, fine.
Yeah.
There is a free archive book of Uta Hagen.
Yeah. It is totally fine to do things on your own. Yeah. And you don't have to go to college. The nice thing about college is that it gives it to you in a curriculum that is already put together and already produces great actors.
Yeah.
And you can do that on your own. Obviously, it's going to take a lot more work, and you're not going to have as much collaboration as you were just talking about. But yeah, it bothers
totally
me
possible.
When people think that they are as good as actors that have done training when they have not done any.
Yes.
And they haven't tried.
Yeah. If you have an acting coach, go you know?
Yeah. It's the same as, like, if you tried to, like, out psychology a psychologist.
Yeah.
It's like they have training, they have the degree, and you're trying to act like you know as much as them, and you don't. And that's okay. But, like, don't try to act like you're as good as them.
Or just, like, I mean, acting is so much humility as a human. It's like stepping away from yourself to give to a piece, but, like, having the humility to be like, okay, you know what? I don't know this.
Yeah.
And I do it too.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. But guess what? I have my little digital phone thing. Beep, boop, bop, bop.
Yeah.
Just look it up.
Yeah. Yeah. Shall we go and pause for a second and see if Trisha Paytas announced her celebrity guest?
Okay, yeah.
So Trisha has not announced at the time we are taking this, but
when Jordan edits this, she'll, like, I'll just put in a little, like, this is who they are. I don't know. Hot takes.
So I asked Joe this yesterday to think about who, and I just think it's a fun little question.
Yeah.
Who do you think that are celebrities right now you would be friends with? I have two answers. I have a celeb acting and a celeb influencer.
Can I hear your answers?
You want mine first?
Yeah.
My influencer, and I've said this a lot to Ian at least, is Eli Rallo. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, of course.
I love her. I think we are very similar.
I would agree.
Just in how we approach things. I think she's so unapologetically herself, and I love her. And she's theater kid, but also cool and fun, and
Makes it her own.
yeah,
Yeah.
and she's also gluten free, so
She
woohoo.
is? I didn't know that.
And she's from Jersey, which I feel like is Westchester adjacent.
Sure.
And I think she's really awesome, and I think we would be friends. My other one is Maya Hawke.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like,
yeah.
I think she has this like chill but interesting energy to her, and I think she cares deeply about what she does, but she doesn't take herself too seriously, which I like.
That. Yeah.
So those are my two. So Eli Rallo or Maya Hawke, if you want to be my friend, please, and thank you.
Yeah, me too. Honestly, I love both of you. I think for influencers, well, okay. So shout out my friend Jada. But my friend Jada is a YouTuber and TikTok.
That doesn't count. But, you're already friends with her.
Okay, but if you asked me this 2 years ago, I would have been like, oh, Jada. Because I didn't know her.
Mm-hmm.
And it just took me like DMing. And now she's one of my closest friends. But if we are saying someone I'm not friends with,
yes,
Jake Shane. I think he's hilarious. He's hilarious. And he's just like, he seems like such a good person.
Yeah.
And he reminds me a lot of one of my closest friends from home. And he is best friends with a girl I went to camp with. And
so you're only 1 degree away anyways,
manifesting. Hey, Jake, if you ever want to hang out, like, just
let us know.
Let us know. Like, we're so down. And then my like acting. I just think it's so like she's just so unapologetically like nice, and people give her shit for it. Rachel Zegler. Like,
I was thinking about her.
Yeah, I think that it's really cool that she put herself out there on YouTube. Not really caring if people were going to like her videos, and then because of that, she got West Side Story, and like she still vlogs. Yeah, she literally still vlogs. Yeah, and I still watch them, and I just think that's and she's our age, and I think that's really cool, and she seems like a genuinely like nice human being. Yeah, and she's from New York, so like, hey.
I feel like when I was thinking about this question, I was like, there are so many people that I don't.
This is a hard question.
That I don't even realize are around our age because they like try to be older. I don't know how to explain it. Like Sabrina Carpenter, how old is Sabrina Carpenter?
25.
Yeah, and I feel like she just seems so much older because she's so glam all the time and doing this big tour. But then when you see her like personal posts, I'm like, oh, you're just a girl. Like,
well, that was another like celebrity that I feel like I kind of just want to be like, I just want to. She seems like a cool person.
Another one that I had in the same vein is Emma Chamberlain. I think Emma Chamberlain and I would be really good friends.
Or Chris Olsen.
Yeah.
Just like cool people.
Yeah. I think the main thing in thinking about the people that I would want to be friends with are people that just like don't take themselves too seriously.
Yeah, I think there's a balance of not taking yourself too seriously because you can't, and also like hard workers.
Yeah.
Who know when to take things seriously.
Yeah, totally.
And all of those people I would put in that category.
Yeah, totally.
I also, in addition to that, hot take, being in LA. So I was watching a Broadway show when I was home, and there's a Hughes alum in it that we went to school with. It was Mormon. Mormon? Yeah.
He's still in that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he was performing that day. And I was like, oh, he's doing great. But also, knowing these people, like, my parents and my sister were, like, in the magic of it. And then I was like, oh, no. Like, he's friends with, like, my big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think, in a good way, being in LA makes it the industry and being friends with people feel much more accessible and much more achievable.
Yeah. Well, going on what you're saying is it's hard to be an actor and not be critical while you watch entertainment.
Sure.
Because once you know how the sausage gets made, it's like
Yeah.
theater has to do a fantastic job for me to not think about tech
Yeah.
elements and the actors
Totally.
and stuff like that. Same with movie stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
when they switch to that scene, that's not that person.
Yeah.
I can tell.
I can
Or
tell.
like how there's all of that
Intimate scenes. I'm like, there was a intimacy coordinator. Like they have like
yeah,
a ball in between them.
yeah. Or like in the second episode, I think it is, of the new season of Sex Lives with College Girls, how
Mhm.
there's all this speculation of Renee Rapp and Pauline Chalamet not getting along, and there's certain cuts where I'm like,
Yes, you were
you
talking
can
about
tell that they're not in the room together. But if you don't know that about them, you wouldn't think about it. But
Or
because I'm
about
clued into
film.
it, yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm clued into it, I can see how they cut around this kind of thing, which makes it harder to enjoy sometimes.
But also, when things are good, it makes us enjoy
Even more.
them so much more.
Yeah, totally,
Yeah.
totally.
Well, I think that's a good way to round out our episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said this to Joe earlier. I'm really excited for our next episode.
I
'cause
know.
We're just talking about all of our favorite things. And you'll get a taste of who we are as artists, I think, in our
And just like
in our personal
humans,
taste.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
But
right.
woohoo.
Thanks, guys. Have a good week.
Yeah, if you're auditioning for theater programs right now, again, don't take yourself too seriously.
Yeah.
It's a silly little program, and things will
We're
happen the way they're
appreciative of the
supposed to
silly
happen.
little program, but
Oh, totally.
also, you know,
Have fun.
the work isn't worth it unless you don't. And the work is not worth it unless you have fun.
The work isn't worth it. Yes. Yes.
We
That.
glitched.
All right. Anyways.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.